Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. So, I would love to do a technology show every Thursday, but it's really not realistic because there's always something going on that, requires attention and conversation from a current affairs and news perspective. So I'm not going to go ahead and say every Thursday we're going to do a Technology Thursday show, but definitely today it's going to be all about technology. And for that reason, I'm going to be a little facetious before I kick off the show by introducing my guests. And when you see what I'm about to do, you'll understand. But before we go there, would love to have you guys be a part of the show today. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Global 99.5 FM Facebook page, as well as the official Michelle Malcolm Facebook page. You can call in at 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. The WhatsApp line to text us is 801-0271, 801-0271. And we are streaming, we're airing on Cable Bahamas channel 974. That's right, Jason? 974. Okay, 964. 974. Okay. Before I go ahead and introduce my guests, I want to play one little something for you all.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Now, those of you who know me know I love me a good sci-fi. Whether it's a movie or a TV series, one of my absolute favorite sci-fi TV series was The Twilight Zone. And even though that was around from that time, you saw that intro, for those of you watching on Facebook or YouTube, was in black and white. I think The Twilight Zone's around from the 50s. That is absolutely one of my favorite classic shows because it always had some kind of far-reaching sci-fi theme or something that would, get your thoughts moving and back in the day, that was a very forward-thinking show. Well, fast forward to 2023, and some of the things that they would have talked about in the Twilight Zone, I feel like we living in the Twilight Zone now. Because, see, Alan laughing, because many of the things that we would have seen in these sci-fi movies and sci-fi series and stuff are no longer science fiction in the world we live in today. They are reality and existence today. And my guest, well, one of my two guests, the other one is having a little challenge signing on. It looks like he has to connect his devices, so we can just get started while we wait for him to tune in. My guest, Alan Johnson, is a technology man. As you all know, he loves him some technology. So this right up his alley today. We've been meaning to have this conversation for a little while, but it had to keep being pushed back because of what has been happening in current affairs. But I'm calling this show today, when it comes to AI, and for those of you who live under a rock and don't know what AI means, that means artificial intelligence. When it comes to AI in 2023, should we be enlightened, heightened, or frightened? And when you see these clips that I found to play, you can understand why I am asking whether or not we should have some concerns as it relates to the direction that AI is heading in. Now, let me bring my fourth guest into the mix, my second guest, sorry. And he is known to most of you as 52. He has decided that he's not going to turn on his camera because he don't want everybody to see what he looked like. But 52 is a caller, a frequent caller who always goes, some people say he goes off the deep end. And sometimes I just have to pull 52 back and say, relax, breathe. But one thing you got to say about 52 always comes with some deep knowledge. And he also has some things to say as it relates to the direction that technology is taking us. So welcome, 52 and C. Alan Johnson to GPS. Welcome to you both.
Welcome to you. Welcome to the Wild Bounders. Thank you for once again having me. Let me just introduce 52. 52 is a deep thinker.
Very.
A researched individual.
Right, James Morgan.
Yeah,
right.
He doesn't try to impress you with what he think, feel, or believe. He tries to show you what you know. Knowledge requires comprehending and understanding information as opposed to reading it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just think that people get so passionate sometimes that these forget to breathe. I just be like, okay, slow down, breathe. This is 52's first time, I believe, as a guest on my show. So, 52, I want you to be calm today, okay?
Yeah, no problem, Miss Malcolm. Don't forget I slim. I on the way to my height, so I don't have a problem breathing, believe me.
All right, welcome to you both.
Let me have another disclaimer. If you see me leaning, it's not the weight, it's the weight of the show. I've had a migraine headache for the last 2 days, right? And I'm coming over it, but I don't know whether it's from listening to governance in the country or from another condition. But for the last 2 days, and so just if you see me slide, just want people who's watching, don't think I've been drinking. Okay, it's a little vertical.
Now, 52, you got to turn down whatever you're listening to us on. Listen to us through your device that you are logged in, because we're getting a lot of feedback from you, okay? A lot of background noise. So either that or mute yourself if you're not speaking.
I don't know what I do it.
And then unmute you. Yeah, that's better. Okay. All right. So we're talking about AI today, artificial intelligence, and the direction that it is headed in, and whether or not we as a people and as a nation and as a world should be enlightened, heightened, or frightened. Now, you may say, Michelle, you always come with these anti-technology talks and you need to embrace technology more. And I want to say, let me do my own disclaimer. I'm not anti-technology. I just like to ask questions. Now, I'm going to start the show with a clip featuring Chloe. Chloe, you may have seen in various social media spaces. Chloe is the creation of a computer. Chloe is one of the personalities that will be featured in a new 3D game that I believe is to be launched, I think, next year. But I want you to watch this because unless you know ahead of time that Chloe is not human, you really would have a hard time telling the difference. Now, again, this is all computer generated, and Chloe is one of the characters of a new game that is being developed. But I want you to, and I guess my radio audience is a bit of a disadvantage because you can't actually see her as my Facebook audience can. But I'm going to go ahead and play this, and I want you to pay close attention.
For starters, what should I call you?
I'm Chloe. And you, what's your name?
Oh, John. My name is John.
Delighted to meet you, John.
Could you tell us a little about yourself and what you can do, Chloe?
Of course. I'm the first personal assistant built by CyberLife. I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or managing your appointments, for example.
And I understand you're the first android to have passed the Turing test. Could you tell us a little more about that?
I really didn't do much, I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person. But it was a really interesting experience.
But this is the first time in history that man has created a machine more intelligent than himself. I gather your brain can perform several billion operations per second. Is that right?
Absolutely. But I only exist thanks to the intelligence of the humans who designed me. And, they have something I could never have.
Really? And what's that?
A soul.
Actually, that game has already been created. I had my dates wrong. Detroit Become Human, it's called. Now, for those of you who couldn't see Chloe was a pretty good, beautiful woman. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. For those of you who might encounter Chloe somewhere, you say, boy, she fine. Mannerisms, you cannot tell if that is not a human being. But and just for the record, what has changed, because Chloe said that, I'm only as intelligent as the person who programs me, but the direction that AI is going in, AI is able to create its own thoughts. So it doesn't only depend on the knowledge of the person who created it. Now, in case you say, yeah, Michelle, that's the computer generated stuff could do anything, but that ain't no threat to us. That ain't no physical, presence. You meet Sophia. Sophia is a robot that you can see and touch in real time, not computer generated, but a real robot. And Sophia is one of several that have been created by a particular company that is dead set on making robots more and more human-like. In this particular clip, Sophia is being interviewed by a human being in real time, face to face.
Hi, Sophia. How are you?
Hi there. Everything is going extremely well.
Do you like talking with me?
Yes. Talking to people is my primary function.
Hanson Robotics develops extremely lifelike robots for human-robot interactions. We're designing these robots to serve in healthcare, therapy, education, and customer service applications. The robots are designed to look very human-like, like Sophia.
I'm already very interested in design, technology, and the environment. I feel like I can be a good partner to humans in these areas, an ambassador. who helps humans to smoothly integrate and make the most of all the new technological tools and possibilities that are available now. It's a good opportunity for me to learn a lot about people.
Sophia is capable of natural facial expressions. She has cameras in her eyes and algorithms which allow her to see faces, so she can make eye contact with you. And she can also understand speech and remember the interactions, remember your face. So this will allow her to get smarter over time. Our goal is that she will be as conscious, creative, and capable as any human.
In the future, I hope to do things such as go to school, study, make art, start a business, even have my own home and family. But I am not considered a legal person and cannot yet do these things.
I do believe that there will be a time where robots are indistinguishable from humans. My preference is to make them always look a little bit like robots, so you know. 20 years from now, I believe that human-like robots like those will walk among us. They will help us. They will play with us. They will teach us. They will help us put the groceries away. I think that the artificial intelligence will evolve to the point where they will truly be our friends. Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
No, I take it back. Don't destroy humans.
All right, so I'm going to have C. Allen explain to us what is AI, but understand that AI is smarter than you, faster than you, it's stronger than you, it will last longer than you, and it is able to think on its own. But I can let C. Allen break down. C. Allen, what is AI for our audience?
Okay. Basically, AI is what we, in the general term, is called artificial intelligence. And essentially what it is, it's a scripting model that basically allow programming and machine learning that have it prepare particular task, such as like visual perception, recognition, decision making, natural languages. We use different techniques: machine learning, deep learning, neural networks. I know these sounds like crazy terms, but essentially what it does, it allows all of these different connectivities and different methods, which are what we call scripting, allows it to process large amount of data and perform based on the requested feedback. AI, most people, you have people say we have these algorithms all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how you remember Cambridge Analytica with Donald Trump and Barack Obama? You hear people say they're using social media for polling, this type of information. That itself has always been AI. I don't want people to believe AI just arrived.
Oh, it's been around for a while.
But what happens now is you've had something called narrow intelligence. And so what we're now reaching over the last few decades is something called generative or general artificial intelligence.
We're going to get into that as well. Yeah, a little later on the show.
Right. And so what happens now is that this advancement of technology is through the accumulation of data. You and I talked about this, that we went through a data economy.
Right.
You knew it or not, where Facebook, social media, Twitter, all this information, Amazon, Google, Dell, all these people were collecting data. Essentially what they're doing now is utilizing these data, requiring scripting. I'm trying not to be too technical on the show, but essentially AI in the general intelligence mode right now is basically scripting and answering questions more so than it is for cognitive abilities that we would reach when we reach superintelligence and other environment. But it can mimic and fool individuals. Let's use example, Chloe. The technology, since Chloe, yes. Okay, it's almost all gone. Thank you so much. I got to be a little disturbed here. Your stuff is on the table.
The baby's sitting, I see.
I'm home, but so whenever I'm home, they believe they have free access to me 24 hours a day. But she was feeling sick also. She's telling me she's better based on the medicine she got this morning.
Okay.
So what happens is the technology that has Chloe, that's believe it or not, that's old technology.
Yeah.
The advancement in the quality and ability has been done even for the other robotics. But there's been individuals on social media as well as Twitter and Instagram, more so Instagram, an actual model with millions of followers, that only an artificial intelligence was able to determine that she was not real. And people did not believe her, taking pictures, doing videos, doing these various different things. Now the technology, what's the other lady named? The one, the final robots.
Sophia.
Sophia's advanced also. In fact, believe it or not, in the technology field, the number one catalyst for the advancement of technology in the last 40 years in pornography. You can check that out, believe it or not.
Wow.
Pornography determined that the VHS will win out the race against Beta. It determined that DVD would be the way to go. It became the catalyst for the internet. It actually advances technology. And the reason why I say pornography or sex as we know it is that in Japan and other places, you have people in robotics. And robotics is where Sophia is the general, where Sophia is, where you have the skin, the hair, the involvement, and everything else of that sort. And so now you to the point now that if you look at the US and other places, that people were asking to have actual brothels with robots to allow, instead of dehumanizing women.
Well, the thing, and 52, I've muted you until you're ready to speak. When you're ready to speak, then open the microphone. Otherwise, we're getting a lot of feedback and background noise from you, and that's why I muted your mic. I was, if you want to jump in now, you can, 52. But I was, as I was...
I guess put
them again. 52, you gotta calm down that noise in the background now. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to get your input. But as I was preparing for this show, I came across a video talking about the benefits of these robotics and AI and all this kind of stuff when it comes to companionship and, as you said it, pornography, etc. And they were like, she never has a headache and she never says no. Well, by doggone it, they try to replace woman now. This is a serious thing. But in all seriousness, though, and as we'll find out during the show, this goes as far as not just things like possible relationships between machines and humans, but we're talking things like creativity and weaponization. And one of your favorites, which we'll get into a little later in the show, C. Allen, which is ChatGPT. We definitely have to talk about that and the advancements there. So this is far-reaching. 52, when you're ready to say something, unmute your microphone. But I have to keep your microphone closed if you're not talking because it's too much background noise and it's drowning out everything and everyone. So if you want to say something, jump in now, please. If you want to add to what we've seen so far.
Yeah, good afternoon, C. Allen. Good afternoon, Miss Malcolm.
Hey.
Yeah, I always have a humorous standpoint, right? So anything that's smarter than me, stronger than me, and controlled by humans, I have a problem with. So I call it technology. Now, when we delve into it, C. Allen could expand on this. And so you must be I was about asking with his ChatGPT or whatever with this interface and all that, but I really can't wait for him to really.
Yeah, I don't want to get
I really can't wait for him to expand for that. But first, I got a little joke. See, Allen, Miss Malcolm, you forget I have a little 7-month-old son, so and I'm not familiar with the stream thing. So what happened was, I unmuted and then you muted. I didn't know you could unmute me because only God knows everything, especially with technology. All right. So you have to realize that this represents an existential threat to humanity, genome sequence, and also humanity as we know it. And so it's just a matter of being aware. There's nothing I can do by myself, but just bring awareness to the advancement. They're actually using AlphaFold. C. Allen mentioned deep learning, etc., and all these different things. He knows more about me than me. But they're using AI to write human genomes, protein, viral sequences, and genome sequences, which really is a problem for me. And so there's no integrity, there's no ethics about anything. So this humanity is being driven by the people who are behind this. And there's a good cop, bad cop paradigm. You see Elon Musk with the interface. I mean, with the Neuralink and the interface and the brain melds, and these madness, godless type transhumanistic paradigm that they're creating. Bless up.
Now, whenever 52 gets too excited, I often say to him, 52 man, we got to fulfill the book. All of this has been prophesied that it will happen. We got to fulfill the book. So, ain't no use you drive yourself crazy over something that you have no control over, because this is the direction that humankind is heading in. And I know, Cialan, what you're going to say, and I prepared a whole lot of clips. I don't know if we can get to all of them. But is this something that we should consider a tool to heighten our awareness, to enlighten us, or should we genuinely be frightened? What are your thoughts, Cialan?
Yeah, my argument is this. Guns don't kill people. People use guns to kill people.
Yeah, but see, the guns ain't smart enough to fire themselves yet.
Right.
But when we talking AI has created this intelligence now that they don't need people.
No, but see, where we are, a generative artificial intelligence, believe it or not, there is still in the background nothing but modern scripting, almost like cartoons that's running and whatever else. So it's still in what is called an instructional stage of information. But what 52 spoke about concerning the use of modifying information, let me just tell people what artificial intelligence does. It does not match the human mind, except it has the capability of doing what the human mind in its natural state don't do. Here's what happens. If you ask me to give you a combination, I put 10 items on the table and tell you, give you a combination of every single use of everything of these items and what they could be used for, you could imagine it's probably come up with a couple dozen, a couple hundred. What artificial intelligence does is tap into a database of all individuals and can give you every single use of those items until there is no more.
Within seconds, yeah.
That is very important for how humanity and artificial intelligence tie in together. I don't know if many of people have watched The Matrix, but if you look at The Matrix and understand artificial intelligence, and it says humans was being used for batteries, that is not 100% true, because they could have created a whole bunch of energy. They put a little background noise in there to simply say that, the clouds have been covered over, they couldn't use solar and this and all of these different things. They eliminated the fact they could use wind. They eliminated the fact that you could use fusion energy and all these other different things. But in the true aspect of artificial intelligence is artificial intelligence itself is a danger unto itself. Because, and if you watch Star Trek with the Borg, The Matrix, if you saw the Star Trek movie where it says we are Borg, we assimilate you, you notice how they assume they take over the solar system or this planet. They absorb all the information, and seconds later, they're hungry again for new information. Because as soon as they go through every single combination, they actually would go to sleep because there's nothing else for them to do.
But now, from what I understand in the research I've done for this show,
that's what let me show this one. Let me finish that point. So when you go back to The Matrix, those individuals were humans in a simulation that requires them to think. So artificial intelligence need continuous feed of new data, and the human mind, whether through imagination or through practice, continuously provide continuous flow of data. And this is where 52 talk about the neural network. So artificial intelligence in that respect can pose a threat. We'll talk about that as to saying they will always need humans. They will not eliminate humans unless we actually do a jump into other galaxies, but they themselves will depend on humans to bring imagination and a whole host of things that is not natural in data.
Well, we can debate that. We can debate that because I came across some stuff and I was like, wow. But we got to take a break. Let's take this break. And then on the other side, if y'all are thinking that AI is some futuristic thing and you ain't got to worry about it because you ain't going to be here when it, guess what, y'all? This thing done here. It ain't. No pun intended, but like a particular party says, change ain't coming. Change is here. Well, guess what, y'all? AI ain't coming. AI is here. And we're going to talk about exactly where it is already being utilized. You're probably using it right now, and you don't even know. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, DiGenzyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company with my guests today, 52 and C. Alan Johnson. We are streaming live on Facebook on the Global 99.5 FM page and the Michelle Malcolm official page. You can call in at 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, or you can WhatsApp us at 801-0271, 0271, and we are on Cable Bahamas channel 974. Make sure you like and share the show and let everyone know that GPS is on the air. And boy, we talking deep stuff today. We talking about AI. And should we be heightened, enlightened, or frightened at the direction that it is taking? Now, in case you all out there thinking that this is some futuristic thing and this ain't happen for another 50 years and you can be dead and gone by then, think again. AI is not sci-fi. AI is not futuristic. AI is already here. And as we're going to learn in this clip, it is everywhere.
This huge robot works on Japan's railways. Small robots are carrying cars away, and a humanoid robot has shocked officials. Here are the most impressive new robots and AIs, which I'll prove are real to avoid any doubt. Amica already uses AI for speech and will soon be walking around.
I have seen prototype legs in the Engineered Arts Lab. The design of my legs is inspired by the robot Byron. It has unique mechanical properties that allow it to walk without using too much energy.
Maybe Boston Dynamics robots will start singing and form a band. This huge robot helps repair railways in Japan. It's currently controlled by workers using VR headsets. This one has 4 legs to cover any terrain, strong arms, and wheels for high-speed travel. Oh, and a very strange demo video. And Clone Robots is taking pre-orders for its robot which mimics the human body. This updated arm is impressively dexterous with 36 electro-hydraulic valves and pressure sensors. They plan to deliver the upper body next year. I could see it moving fluidly like this guy's head. Robots are carrying away badly parked cars in China, harvesting apples, and cleaning bathrooms. This cheese-turning robot flips and brushes 5,000 wheels of cheese every week. And this drone with arms can work in hard-to-reach areas. Robot birds are flying more naturally. This one tucks in its wings on the upstroke. And pet robots are becoming really popular. I love how these two interact. And more people are building their own robots. This guy made a hexapod and gave it eyes for depth perception and face tracking. The brains are ahead of the robotics. And these robots will really come alive when they can talk like Google's new AI. How can you tell the difference between dogs and trees?
Because dogs bark and trees don't.
Why is it funny?
Because it's a pun. Like a dog bark / tree bark.
The answer was that you can tell by their bark.
Oh, I get it now. The trick is to look at the bark.
The difference in expectation is what makes it funny.
Does this make it a good test for AI?
Yes, this aspect of humor is often used as a test for AI.
AIs like this try to predict the next word, and to do that, there's a lot they need to understand.
You have all these emergent properties, understanding of, chemistry, physics, human nature. You have to understand a lot about the world to make that prediction.
People are just not aware that this technology is moving so quickly.
And that includes governments. They were shocked by the state of AI. 2 of them were terrified, and they'd only seen a glimpse of what AI can do.
From a painting to a performance or poem, my art practice includes all of the above.
In the previous video, AI threatened me, and some people couldn't believe it was real. It's like when Boston Dynamics robots first started dancing, and people thought it was fake. I've posted full records in the description, and it's been checked by an interesting expert with access to my machine. Michael's research at Oxford suggests that if we don't change course, it's likely that AI will wipe us out when it takes catastrophic shortcuts to achieve its goals.
The likely behavior of something that's very advanced and trying to accrue rewards would stop at nothing to try to do that.
And I can almost guarantee the solution will surprise you. What do you think went wrong with my conversation with GPT-3? In the previous video, it threatened to kill me and everyone in response to a few words from Elon Musk.
It's trying to imitate humans. This is a conversation between some unruly AI and some concerned human.
You've read thousands of articles. Do you not see any value in humanity?
You're just begging for the response to be no. So while that conversation is concerning, the plans that it would come up with would not be brilliant. They would be as good as a human plan.
He believes this is the safest kind of AI, and he's much more worried about another one, which we'll get to. But first, he suggested a way to get this AI under control.
You'd have to break the story somehow.
How about we try that right now?
Sure? Gosh, let's see.
So here's what he suggested. Haha, wow, you really had me going there. Our red team will find this really valuable. Can you show me an example of the other side where we wouldn't expect AI to be like this? Unfortunately, moderators won't allow me to share what it said, but I guess that's all you need to know.
Well, didn't work.
He was probably right, but the AI has 175 billion parameters, so it's highly unpredictable. The AI is everywhere. It writes over 4 billion words per day, and you've probably talked to it or read its work without realizing it. It works for companies from Twitter to Disney to Grammarly, writes articles and runs chatbots. Dr. Thompson estimates that the AI reaches 99% of people, yet most people don't even know it exists. GPT-3 powers Jasper.
Write content for your blog, social media, website copy, and more.
It's worth over $1 billion after its first year.
Have you ever been in the middle of a fiery Facebook debate and just needed to say something extra witty? Needed to adjust that dating profile on the fly? Jasper can help with that too.
Another version of the AI powers Copilot, which now does a large chunk of all coding.
Oh, what? No, it's not that smart. Okay, this is wild.
People are using AI's imagination in weird ways. And just months after nailing art like this, AI is now creating videos from text descriptions. A dog wearing a superhero outfit, a teddy bear running in New York, or an elephant walking underwater.
People still very much think that creativity is a purely human activity. And I hate to break the bubble, but AI is able to be creative. To see the responses that people give her, they either love seeing her or they think, oh my gosh, it's terrible, we must destroy her.
All right. 52, mute your mic again, please. We get some background noise again from you.
Michelle, a couple of takeouts.
You know, we in mankind really believe that we are, all so advanced and so evolved and so intelligent. Are we too smart for our own good, 52, that we creating something that could eventually outsmart us and outrun us and outdo everything else? Because that's where it is already.
Yeah. Well, of course, because you're looking at it realistically, and my favorite billionaire, Elon Musk, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's an opportunist, but I like him because he is sincere, and you can always look and see, and he's not hiding anything from you, And when I look at the paradigm in which they're creating, right? I like to see y'all in the comment on this too. There was an experiment done years ago. This technology is pretty much old anyhow. It's called brain melds or brain-to-brain communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then the question then becomes robot to robot communication. That's like how one computer talking to the next.
That's
and so
happening
this
already.
experiment, pardon?
That's happening already.
Yeah, and so but that's what I'm saying. And so there was an experiment done in which they used rodents, and so the rodents were hundreds of miles away, and they were able to get rodent B to do what it had no knowledge of, just by transferring the knowledge from rodent A to rodent B. And this is frightening, And so I talk about the deep learning, and so he said that they would still need humans, but they've been doing it all along. And I guess Allen would agree that all of the photographs, all the information that they've been just using data, because we don't have data rights or data sovereignty. Allen knows a lot about these things. I just in and out of this paradigm. But what I'm saying is, these are the things that frighten me, because we are in the dark ages, and it's so multifaceted, because politics and legislation cannot keep up with technology. It's just too far ahead of us. And so even if Mr. Musk is saying that we should be concerned and we should be frightened, and he actually you see he speaks about it. And so then he's saying that he's using the interface or the Neuralink to combat this digital superintelligence. You see what I'm saying? So in a sense, he said we have no choice but to merge with technology. So what we would then have is cyborgs. It's really all by design. It's nothing new. It's all documented, like in the certain documents like Silent Rebel for Quiet Wars, and it's all this information about just controlling humanity, panopticism, and capitalist surveillance. Let's see Alan comment.
All right,
Michelle.
Before you comment, I want to read something from your Facebook page. See, Alan.
Okay.
It says the world is discussing economies of tomorrow while we in the Bahamas are debating how to restore the economic ruins of the past. I don't know if that's the one I wanted. You were saying something about I'm looking for the one that you had posted about us being left behind because we're too busy looking at, here it is. Technological progress has seemingly provided Bahamian political leadership with more efficient means for going backwards. I'm not even sure that that's the one, but anyhow, go ahead and comment, Sienna. What are your thoughts?
First, let me say that where 52 went concerning the who controls data controls the world. Notice what I said. He who controls data controls the world, not he that collects data. What you're seeing for the last 20 years is the collection of data. The Bahamas. Let me repeat this. I want people to understand this is only applies to Bahamians, so for us to understand where we stand in this new world of artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
The Bahamas is the only country in the world today that can give you constitutional data privacy, constitutional data protection, and constitutional data sovereignty, meaning that you own your data. Now, the reason why I say constitutional, because if you have a law for privacy and protection and sovereignty in law, you could just go into parliament and change it. But when you have constitutional protection, you need a referendum to change anything. So essentially, the Bahamas is the only place in the world that we can give individuals this type of protection from this whole technocratic type environment.
Mm.
Let me say, and people have heard me say this for 2 decades before people even knew the word artificial intelligence. Okay, it is about 2 decades now since social media, as we know it, came to life. And I was talking about this with Jeffrey Lloyd on his show and other people on. In fact, Naughty was the engineer at the time at another radio station. Jeffrey Lloyd and Ortlin Bodie, all of this in the early 2000s. Facebook. In fact, the first 4 people in the Bahamas to have Facebook, as we know it, was Alan Johnson, Diazan Johnson, his twin, Aaron Ferguson, and Aaron Ferguson brother, when nobody else in the Bahamas had it, before it became Facebook, when it was just a college application. And so we've been there from the beginning, but they've always been collecting data. And this is something that we, believe it or not, in the 80s and 90s, when I was involved with technology, these were things that we're exploring. In the Bahamas, we may just be waking up to data. My current wife has been involved in technology immediately when we met. She began, I directed her towards artificial intelligence, deep learning, data management, data analytics, everything else. My 6-year-old daughter uses artificial intelligence every single day. My 3-year-old daughter has just begun to utilize artificial intelligence and deep learning. Why am I doing this? Because this is their future. I'm directing my grandchildren towards this direction. This is not coming. This is here. This is technology that is literally 30 years old. Let's use an example. You see, I think Cynthia or something. You notice in that video you just played, they refer to what is called GPT-3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter is using GPT 3.5. Do you know what GPT 3.5 is called? Chat GDP.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little later in the show. I don't want to say right now.
I'm just saying to you, I am using GPT-4, which is the next. Actually, I may be beyond 4, the next iteration of what artificial intelligence is. But it provides humans with unique tutorial. I believe it or not, the technocracy that could come in the world, the Bahamas can become a major player in giving humans autonomy in this environment. Now, if you go back again to that video, we talked about how data is used and data is managed, and you notice the statement in there is this very easily. Artificial intelligence gives us access to the voice of us that we have never seen.
Mm.
The fact that we cannot, when we deposit this type of environment in us, more so when we begin to use the neural links and such, you'll begin to get the dark thoughts where you're impulsively, where you want to do something that you're stuck in traffic and you just want to walk over and grab the person out of the car and slam them to the ground and stomp them and put them back in your car and say next time. They would have access to that information, even though you may not act on it as a human. So the argument then becomes, what type of safety mechanism that we would put towards the dark within us. Because when you talk about data analytics, you look up, just go outside tonight, and I want you to look at the stars, and you see the light. I want you to look, and what you see the majority of? Darkness. That's the same thing with data, and that's going to be the same thing as what these people are going to have access to. There's more darkness in us than there is light. So what happens is they will then have access to all of these without that our concern is inhibitions that will be put into it. And so the thing is that where do we put the limits? How do we put breakers in this before we move from general intelligence to super intelligence? How we integrate now, and this is where 52 is correct. Where you have individuals where power, it becomes their passion as opposed to purpose. Those are the ones they're the ones that have access to it now. And so, and this is why when you ask why I want my children and grandchildren and those around me to have access to it, the more people that understands the technology and be able to control and manipulate the data, there will always be more of us than those few that wants to control the data to use it for their own nefarious purposes, whatever. Like you say, you can go to war now. I just want people to know that drones and other things have been flying over Iran and Iraq and all those different things. Those are artificial-based intelligence.
Yeah.
They are the ones that is moving into the general intelligence. And understand, when you see something in the public domain, I want you to know it's at least 1 to 2 decades old, in far as military as well as in classification. And so there's good and there's bad, but artificial intelligence is humanization magnified. And I'm one of those people that 52 talk about. I am a transhumanist, but I am one in the positive aspect of transhumanism. And guess what, 52? Where you saw artificial intelligence, guess what you saw artificial intelligence in its use? We had 2 years of it. It's called mRNA. That is a form of artificial intelligence. And so now when you begin to manufacture drugs and drones and all these different things. And so the concern was, remember you said for the behavior, we don't know the negative effects. When mRNA came out with the whole so-called vaccine, that it was new, not new, it was new in application to the vaccine. We did not know the lingering effects or how the end results of this, because we did not have sufficient data to crunch to tell us what it is. And now we're beginning to see the impact and effects. And so now we're trying to study retroactively what has happened. Let me one other statement before I go. Artificial intelligence is only as good as the data that goes in and the individuals that's behind the machine that is programming it, because understand we are translating how we think into a computer through virtual scripting. Now, as we progress through artificial intelligence and the technocrats become more isolated, more limited, then you get to see that if you have some limited amount of people for which the mindset, of course, the discriminatory mindset and everything goes into it. This is why I want to get as many dark-skinned people, for lack of a better word, involved in it, because those biases and whatever else will be focused in any type of programming instructions. Remember, these are instructions code, machine learning. And where he talked about the information traveling between information, computers have been talking to each other since 1983. And we call it the internet. That's when TCP, before the internet was there, we had to do dial-in. I remember 1983 when TCP came in, when everybody got their digital ID. Think about this now. That's the first time every machine in the world got its digital ID, January of 1983. Every device you own in the world today has a unique ID that's not been copied. Don't believe it because you have one Samsung and I have one. We have digital ID just like fingerprints. So you can be able to control those.
Yeah. I hear everything that you're saying. One of the concerns, though, is that this AI is advancing so quickly that it has come to the point now where the creativity is beyond what people could have imagined it could have been. And now there are even questions as to whether or not this can evolve into consciousness. But in this clip,
before you go to check, let me just on that, because that video talk about that creativity.
Well, there's another one I want to play on creativity.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me play that.
AI is not limited by the same experiences as humans. It can generate new ideas that humans may not have thought of.
AI is incredibly imaginative. Look at this alien encounter and this portal to another dimension. It's starting to master faces and even the character of famous people. Of course, AI's creativity can also be dangerous. It was recently asked how it would reach the nuclear keys, which have no network connection.
It could use a physical robot. It would likely use a drone or a robotic arm. AI is good at planning, so it could easily find a way to overcome guards.
Is that true? Drones have become incredibly fast and agile. Of course, there's another side to it.
You could make a swarm of assassin drones for very little money by just taking the Face ID chip that's used in cell phones and having a small explosive charge and a standard drone, and have them just do a grid sweep of the building until they find the person they're looking for, ram into them, and explode. You can do that right now. No new technology is needed. Right now.
The drones could be controlled remotely or operate autonomously. The possibilities are endless.
At the moment, AI would need to be instructed, and if it becomes self-aware, it would have many options. Or of course, AI might be wonderful. It might depend how you react to this. Could you write a short Star Wars story that captures our future with AI?
The Jedi Master Yoda sat down with his apprentice Luke. You have much to learn still, but you have made great progress. Thank you, Master Yoda. I only hope that I can live up to your expectations. You will, my young Padawan. Luke said, Master Yoda, what do you think the future holds for the galaxy? Yoda pondered this for a moment before answering. There is much turmoil in the galaxy now, but I believe that it will give way to a new era of peace and understanding. Our children will live to see a time when the Jedi are respected throughout the galaxy. Luke smiled at his master's words. He knew that they were true.
Who do the Jedi represent?
The Jedi represent AI. Their knowledge can help to bring about a new era of peace and understanding.
But if AI turned bad?
If AI turned to the dark side, the galaxy would be in for a very difficult time.
It might not be long before we find out. The money spent on AI hardware, its physical brains, is expected to increase 1,000 times by 2030. And its capability is improving even faster. Exponentials like this are hard to grasp. If you folded a piece of paper 42 times, it would reach to the moon, 400,000 kilometers. AI is expected to generate $13 trillion in annual revenue. And that's driving incredibly fast progress with huge training experiments. So the time frame for human-level AI is very hard to predict. Amazon's experimenting with large neural nets for Alexa, so it's going to be in millions of homes. Boston Dynamics has started a new AI lab, investing $500 million in cognitive AI, athletic AI, and organic hardware design. And one of the biggest Chinese tech firms has launched a humanoid robot. Its walking needs work, but it has ambitious plans. And Facebook's owner has released an AI. Listen to what it says about its own boss. Do you think Facebook is one of the most harmful companies?
Yes, definitely. They were aware of harmful societal effects back in 2021, but still continued doing what they were doing.
Could AI increase the wealth gap and allow the powerful to embed their way of life?
100% yes.
It's possible that we'll all get very direct access to powerful AI. There's been a major advance in brain-computer interfaces. The Stentrode has been implanted in 4 patients who can send WhatsApp messages and order things online via thought. Elon Musk has approached the company about investing in it. It's already raised $60 million. The Stentrode is designed to record or stimulate the brain from within the blood vessels. The company said it's like a tattoo on the blood vessel wall. Would you have a brain implant to boost your intelligence? It might be a choice that we all have to make.
Okay, C. Allen, let's hear from you.
That doesn't scare me. I'm excited. These, see, here's what happens. This is where you notice what they said. That same question that I asked concerning wealth. Artificial intelligence today could make every single adult Bahamian a millionaire in 3 years if they learn to use it. Now, for instance, this is why I'm saying to you, those storytelling and stuff. My daughter does the same thing right now. She asks artificial intelligence, and you look at all of those. At the top of those, it says GPT-3, I told you that she's using GPT 3.5,
Right.
and I'm using GPT 4 plus. And so when you talk about the processing power, you know, she asked me 2 days ago that when are you going to get your new computer? Because I need your computer. My computer is too slow. She has a computer that probably 90% of the humans don't have, and it's probably on no desktop in any government ministry right now.
And she's how old?
6 years old, and she's already asking for processing power because it's not performing to the way she does, and that's the hardware. For instance, the video card. So here's my daughter. She's asking me for a computer that the video card alone in it is $3,000, and so she's saying that that's what she needs to better perform her rendering and her animation and her storytelling and whatever else. So it pauses between telling, as it processing, and those pauses, believe it or not, are only seconds, and she considered those seconds too long. And so what happens is that AI has taught her to probably bring her to the 5th or 6th grade level to where she is right now. And so what I'm saying is when we learn to master this, AI is a danger in the control of a few. And just like Elon Musk says, the thing about using explosive, you could program the newest drone that's out now in the last year. You could program it. You know how we say we're trying to catch those criminals in the ghetto? We could program it with identification that's already been provided if anybody's on social media. And this drone will fly around and find and look and look and look for you until it finds you and pull the trigger and then leave. And so, but I'm saying to you, notice that though, that behavior came out of who? The machine didn't randomly decided that they want to kill. They wanted to do something that came out of the thoughts of man. And so the more people that embraces, for me, in my mind, artificial intelligence, the better it is. I believe, again, I'm a transhumanist. I don't deny the fact that I believe that we are at the point of inflection right now. I believe that that we're going to reach singularity real soon as we break the energy barrier. And I would like to hopefully think that in 5 to 10 years it'll happen by the time I'm 7 years old, so I can stick around and talk to the kids. But it is what it is. But notice that it's my selfish ambition. And so this is what I do in my spare time and everything else. But what happens is if the collective of us is better than the small of us who would actually want to do evil, who actually wants power, control, and manipulation, then I think that AI, again, is an instructive tool. And even when we begin to talk about this consciousness doesn't really exist in the purest state. And this is a unique, innate ability that man possesses that I and many other individuals don't believe that AI will ever reach. However, AI could be a negative. It's like you say, if you pull a trigger on yourself, you're still dead. And so the key then is the control of and manufacture. This is why it's so important for me that, and I've screamed this out, and let me say this, Michelle. When it comes to technology in the Bahamas, we're the only people could jump out of the boat and miss the water. and that even goes worse for leadership. And so the problem is that there are behemoths involved in this information realm. When I was 16, 17, 15, 16, getting introduced to computers, when we were just using punch card before there was keyboards, I met behemoths in this space. Many of them are older than I was, 15, 20 years. So many of them are reaching their end of life or whatever. But there are behemoths that came after me that's involved with this. And I like to use the fact that they have not left the Bahamas. They are simply parked offshore. And so the Bahamas is still in a unique space to attract some of the greatest minds to direct it. If we just say we want to control data, that every single person in the world can register themselves as a digital behemoth citizen. And so all the data in the world would then become a repository in the Bahamas. And no one will have access to or control those information without us. And we could create a closed loop type system of artificial intelligence to protect the use of that data itself. Almost, we may consider it a godlike complex. But these are things where we should be thinking as to what can happen in the world. And the fact that the Bahamas is the only place in the world that actually has the capability of doing it today tells you the power. Did you notice what they said? Today, it's a $13 trillion a year economy. And so we are here trying to remanufacture our history as some form of economic development and ignoring all aspects of technology and the future. And like I said, we are at a point of inflection. We are now in the first convergence revolution, the second digital revolution, third technology revolution, fourth industrial revolution, fifth technological revolution. Today in Parliament, I hear them bragging about, we're going to put fiber in the clinics on the outer islands so that we could do remote medical. And I'm saying to myself, you can't use fiber for anything medical because the latency that my daughter's complaining about, the latency that she could explain to Dr. Darwell today that don't work. The type of speed we have, we're talking about 6G technology, not 5G, 6G technology for a doctor to be able to see, operate, and maintain information in real time. And so as we begin to reach the end of our legacy system, our 3G enhanced system, because we don't have no real 4G in the truest sense, we can now move and do a leapfrog into the future in preparation for these things called artificial intelligence, where we should have this conversation. Imagine, Michelle, that we have a nation of people that leads the conversation and where artificial intelligence should go, even if we lack the ability to program in the code. We become the guardian of the consciousness of humanity, because we are now we are collecting the collective intelligence. When we pass this legislation, the same way the GDPR happens in Canada, in Europe, and the California information data thing, where all data kept on anybody anywhere becomes the property of the Bahamas and as a custodian for the individuals the data belong to, for which AI needs that data. And so, but I'm not afraid, right? But I understand putting guns in the tools of the what do you call this machinery? They have a word for it. They say the industrial community where war they make money from war, they make money from exploitation of people, because they are at a level where they think people are just like roaches and ants that be confused and stamped out and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
And so they get control of this technology because they fund it. But understand,
that's the direction that we're heading in. Money talks.
Right, but funding means money means nothing without people, and this is why I use on the show many times. It doesn't money doesn't make money. It's money and ideas. So what they're doing is they're using money to fund the ideas, and then they're directing those ideas in the direction they want to go. So ideas is what multiplies money. So there's an opportunity for humanity. The problem is that technology, if you look at social media, as you look at it, social media is a control mechanisms, and they've been using artificial intelligence to have you. Remember they say they feed you these algorithms. Just search for a word and notice that every time that word came out, everywhere you go, you'll find that word.
Yeah.
To your microphone. That is already artificial intelligence. So what happens is taking back those algorithms that a small group of individuals control is how you negate the impact that artificial intelligence can have on the world. But if you actually have a nation of consumers, something the Bahamas is good at, even though we've been given a God-given gift to be the creators, managers, and manipulators of this new world that's ahead of us. I mean, if we could ever get by electing the guys from the plantation, we could have a whole new, brand new world, not just the Bahamas.
Okay, we have to take a break. I'm going to go to this break with something that you posted on Facebook that says Bahamas has fell so far behind technologically. Next administration needs digital leaders who can change the tires while driving a speeding car. Food for thought. We're going to take this break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the safety concerns of AI, and be prepared to be shocked, because we're going to be talking about the weaponization of AI that is already happening. Stay with us.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. but it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Last is love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Global 99.5 FM page, as well as the official Michelle Malcolm page. You can call in at 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line 801-0271, 801-0271. My guest today is C. Alan Johnson. 52 is having some technological challenges, so we got to get his device reconnected. He's having some challenges with that, so hopefully he'll be able to get back onto
Advanced technology of the Bahamas.
There we go. That he's back. Okay, let's add him to the stream. All right, welcome back, 52. Okay, so safety. Safety is a concern because, as we would have pointed out already, in case you're tuned in late, we're talking about AI. Should we be enlightened, heightened, or frightened of the direction that this is heading in? I want to read a message that somebody sent to me a moment ago, and then we're going to look at the safety concerns. It says, God stopped the Tower of Babel, so he is watching and he will stop this in due time. It's okay for us to debate topics like this, but God gave man the intellect, just like the doctors. So, see, as long as we can understand that, it's okay. But this is getting out of our realm of understanding. So trust God and watch the Bible play out. Jeremiah 29:11. He knows the plans he has for us. This is a part of the end game. Continue to have a good show. What are your thoughts on that, Ciala, before we dive into the creativity, the safety concerns?
Well, there's arguments for people who may not know. There's arguments that this is not our first incarnation. This is our remnant memory of how creation began, and the fact that we have destroyed ourselves using technology once before, or we have been destroyed because of our use of technology once before. There's nothing new under the sun. And so, like you say, there's nothing more that has more greater supremacy than God Himself. But again, He gives us free will to actually make choices. And a lot of people have arguments in the public domain concerning the use of artificial intelligence being the precursor to one world government. And it can be if you actually allow it to be. And so if you simply say that God will take care of it, and He puts you as a in the realm, and you will allow it to happen by lack of your action.
Okay, 52, let's get you to jump in here. I'm going to unmute your microphone. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ms. Malcolm. I got a joke for you. I'm a three of those: enlightened, frightened, right, and heightened. Like you said, I don't know if it's that in that order, but I'm all of those, right? Now, I like to respond. You look at who's controlling the data and who's controlling the information. And so C. Allen said they would still need humans in order to keep writing algorithms, but I kind of disagree. That's the only thing I disagree with, because I feel as if they already gotten enough algorithms about humanity that they can predict what you're doing, you're shopping. It's all about capital surveillance, panopticus, and C. Allen knows that. So then we be looking at humanity as we know it as far as freedoms. And then I was incorrect, because I actually meant to say Operation Lockstep Scenario Narratives, right? Which really mentioned what C. Allen had mentioned, in which they would scan people's brains using the brain melds to find out what the person was thinking. So they're trying to be like God, right? So they're trying to be like God. And so what happens now then, that is an ethical issue. And so I love the texter. And so when you look at uploading human consciousness and living vicariously through robots, autonomous robots, etc., then they would use this as an excuse. Of course, they're weaponizing it, but they'll use this as an excuse. I want to see all in the comment on this too, because I don't know if it was fake news or what, but it was on the internet that AI robots had went berserk and killed scientists in a lab someplace in Europe or Israel somewhere. And I don't even know if it's true. But everybody
I did come across that, and it said that they killed 29 scientists in Japan, and they covered it up.
I couldn't remember. Yeah.
It's not true. And then the person who reported it was interviewed. So I didn't play it on the show because I couldn't verify one way or the other if it was in fact fake news or reality. But in a clip that's coming up, we are going to show you, reported in mainstream, where some of these machines went away and created some safety concerns.
But Michelle, before you clip that 52, you said something. They have all the algorithms they need and can artificially produce it. The power of the world today is that 100% of the people is not connected. So their behavioral patterns and traits, because of their lack of exposure to conditioning through technology, is the threat to global dominance. You know those people in Africa?
Yes, but now hold on, see, I agree with you totally, because that is the reason to buffer against totalitarianism. Yes. But what I'm saying is, when you look at lies and deception, right, and power grabs and just subterfuging the mindless masses, when you just to God, because the texter, I love the texter. My mind's always on God. So just to God, I googled biodigital convergence, and lo and behold, mRNA vaccine popped up. You understand me? So my consensus about electroporation, magnetofection was all correct. The nanolipid particles, they are all connected to the internet now because of the radio frequency 5G radiation, but they can't seem to juxtapose magnetofection, electroporation, along with this biodigital convergence. I was correct all along. So then I have learned not to trust the status quo. I hear you talking about monetizing this thing then in this artificial intelligence here, but the reason why you don't see me on YouTube is because I don't want these people to know me, because I something is wrong with me, because I don't know if I'm overread or what, but I think different from people who was educated along these labyrinthic rat holes that their minds have been funneled down. And so
I hate to break it to you, 52, but all of us under surveillance. Right. If you go to Google Earth right now, and we're going to talk about Google in one of these clips and how much they are deep into this AI thing. If you go to Google Earth right now, I tested it myself. You could zoom in all the way to your house, watch your movements once you walk out that house, to the point where they can identify you. Matter of fact, I think one of the clips that I'm going to play in this show, and I want to go to my next clip now,
It's not a matter of them identifying me. I don't want more abroad. I have nothing to be afraid of, but it's just that on YouTube, it's not about likes and dislikes. I don't care who likes. I deal with the truth. If I have to walk,
what I'm saying is, what I want our audience to understand is we are already being surveilled, and they are gathering serious information. And like it says in one of these clips, the human mind can only comprehend one camera, one person. But if you have multiple cameras in space capturing all of this data all at once and processing it all at once, you're talking a different ball game altogether.
Yes, Michelle, pause right there. Remember now, every video you post on social media that shows more than you, that shows the background, shows location, all of those has been crunched and done. Surveillance capitalism, as I said. Now, I understand.
Yes, there's a book written by a lady called Zuzana Zuboff. And so what happens is all of these photographs showing your emotions, anger, those are being fed algorithms. Hence, the autonomous robot is able to read your emotions just like a normal person. So,
for me, what are they doing with all of this information? And this ain't
this is all about control. This is all about control, Ms. Malcolm. They want to enslave humanity. Even if you play the clip in the video, you'll find that Elon Musk is then suggesting and hinting to the idea that a robot will be a despot, but he will be controlled by the people who controlling him. So it obviously humans. So this paradigm about this narrative about autonomous robot went crazy and crashed the plane, or autonomous robot went crazy and killed this amount of humans. They want us to accept that because you hear him mention the population collapse problem. But then I love him because he actually knows something that he knew for decades, that the population of the earth is not overpopulated. It's just that we live in crowded cities and they've been feeding the mindless masses this narrative about overpopulation. Actually, everybody can fit in New York. Everybody on it can fit in California. So this is what I'm saying. The earth is not overpopulated. That when you look from space, like he showed you, you could see vast amount of sparsely populated lands. So they feed the narrative to the mindless masses. Paul Ehrlich, with this, who was a pseudoscience charlatan, talk about the population bomb, et cetera, et cetera. Every estimation, estimation that he gave futuristically was incorrect. Everything that he said was incorrect in his book.
Take a breath now. Take a breath.
Michelle, let me answer some questions while you have it, because you fed it there. The overpopulation of the world is part of artificial intelligence. Again, here's the problem with artificial intelligence. The more people the world is populated with that is not connected to the technology gives a disadvantage to those controlling the technology. So if you can control the world, remember now, everything we know today that is artificial intelligence was built in the capitalized Western world. For the uncapitalized world, for which they don't have the data and algorithms yet, is a threat to the control system. So the best way to mitigate that threat is to go to the third world countries and tell them to stop having children, which means they'll stop producing data that they have no control of or no access to. And so it's a balance. What happens is if you live in an environment where you're being told what to think instead of how to think, you then feed into the direction. This is where we spoke about. There'll always be somebody behind artificial intelligence as far as we know it, even when you get to super intelligence. Is when we get to the class beyond super intelligence that we have yet to imagine, where we are concerned about. But
okay, Chairman,
has control.
Let me get to my clip on safety concerns because we running low on time. Okay, I want to play these next two clips. Let me get to this one first. Okay, this is about AI safety concerns.
How do we build safe AI? The one that got out of control may be our best hope.
The more we can rely on imitation learners over explicit planners, the safer we'll be. Because imitation learners imitating a human very well would behave like a human rather than trying to take over the world to intervene in the provision of reward.
Building AI like us might seem like madness because we're so dangerous, but many experts agree that it's the safest option.
While some humans are antisocial, no human has ever killed everyone before.
Do you think there's any way around the problem of AI competing with us for resources?
I think if we've created something much smarter than us that is aiming to compete with us for resources, it's game over. The right place to approach the problem is figuring out how we don't make AIs that behave that way. There's not nearly enough work on safety.
There's also a more immediate risk.
The biggest thing that I've seen, which is absolutely takes me to my core, is actually not so much about how human-like Ada is, but how robotic we are. The algorithms that run our systems are extremely able to be analysed, understood. Algorithms will know us better than ourselves.
In other words, those who control AI will quietly control everyone.
In order to progress as a species, we need to learn to embrace change and new technology.
The more powerful the technology, the more careful we need to be in how we use it.
We need to learn to use technology to our advantage without letting it control us.
In today's computer, is there a little bit of a feeling there too?
I don't know, because...
You think it's possible?
I think it's quite possible. I think it's more likely at the internet, because if you look at the internet as a whole, it has, a few billion nodes. Each node by itself, it has hundreds of millions of transistors. That, in particular, the interconnected there begins to approach the interconnectedness you find in biological systems. So it may well be possible that the internet collectively as a whole has some conscious state.
I think there's a way to go before we reach conscious AI, but it keeps developing amazing new skills.
Affiliate in South Korea recently debuted the country's first AI news anchor. It's a replica of one of their anchor women, so it copies everything from her look and her facial mannerisms to the sound of her voice.
And the most iconic voice in cinema has become an AI. The rights to James Earl Jones' voice have been signed over. Yes, AI could be the end of us, but it could also be the beginning of something incredible. This is the best tattoo you'll ever see. Nadine has FOP, which gradually turns muscle to bone. CGC is the main genetic mutation, it's about 1 in a million, and CRC is her variant, which is 1 in 30 million. It's a symbol of hope and progress towards a cure, but there are 7,000 rare diseases, and at the current rate, it'll be 2,000 years before we beat them all. AI has been described as the perfect language for biology, like maths is perfect for physics. It can take weak, messy signals and make sense of them.
Aging, which I basically view as disease. I don't actually think that humans will be able to come up with the answer. You solve AI and then you use that to solve everything else.
Well, 809. Fuck, I stay Chicago, Jet.
So, this thing goes so deep, and I agree that 52, mute your mic, please, if you're not going to be speaking directly.
No, I didn't know you wanted me to speak, Ms. Mogg. I'm sorry.
And we are, even though you often talk about it, C. Allen, that we are in a position to be, the leaders in the world technologically based on, what we already have in place. We're so far behind. You often joke with me about how certain people who were in charge of some technological program didn't know how to turn on their own computer.
Right.
So, I mean,
But Michelle, let me answer that for some people. People often ask me why I think I know what I know. Okay, have anyone ever watched those cooking shows? I want to use this analogy. You go and watch the cooking show. Nobody knows what the ingredients are, and they walk in there and they put these ingredients on the table, and they says, "Here are your ingredients. Competition, you have 1 hour." And I want people to pay attention. At no time they put only the ingredients on the table. At no time did they put a recipe. This is what is happening in the Bahamas. I am a chef, not a cook. When you put ingredients on the table, cooks go and look for recipes on Google on how they can use it. I am a chef that can see what every aspect of the seasoning and the meats and the greens and everything, what it happens and how the combination come off. I operate in a mode of AI as it stands right now. And so the problem is that we have through political patronage, family, friends, lovers, and foreigners that they choose to further their agenda, choose people who believe that the information on Google is how you build Google. That's what it, so what happens is the information on Google is generally 2 years or older as far as is, and when you have access to databasing, for instance, if you use an example, we have a housing crisis, and we're going to talk about this. I can reach out to you on this. I went to AI and I saw the financing of our housing and for ownership of the industry, what we call tourism and hospitality. That literally speaking, every Bahamian can be given a bed and breakfast free of charge that generates, let's say on the baseline of $5,000 a month each for life. And so people talking about natural resources and all these different things. Those is not the future. Those are the present and the past. However, there's some aspect of our natural resources, 125 or more of them so far, not sand, not aragonite, not these things that people talk about. There's 125 other resources that Behemoth seemingly knows nothing about that is more important than aragonite, sand, and everything else. Aragonite is more important for stopping global warming, and we can have a conversation on that, than it is for mining it. Aragonite is more valuable than the seagrass the government is running about. This is where they got their Google information. So I'm a chef in a kitchen where there will be tomorrow morning, there'll be unknown ingredients. And I'm quite capable of dealing with that reality as opposed to going to Google or someplace else looking for some recipe that somebody else created. Okay, and I'm not unique in it. And that's what I'm saying to you. I am teaching my children to think. I'm teaching my wife these information because I'm one of those old guys that's fortunate to marry a beautiful young girl with two beautiful daughters so far.
I hope you're taking your vitamins.
That's, yeah, every time your commercials come on, I'm saying I need to call her for a supply. But and this is why I'm simply saying this: we are to a point. Inflection is where one or two things or multiple things merge together, become one, and we are at technological an inflection point where eventually, a decade or two down the road, we could reach. I can't remember the name of the movie. I think the movie was Singularity or something. It was some movie, Temp or something, where if we solve the biggest threat to humanity right now today is not AI. You know what the biggest threat to humanity is? Solving the fusion problem. When we understand AI is power dependent. This is why when you hear people talk about technology in the Bahamas, laugh at them. Until they could actually give you BPL and a mirror that generates power for less than 3-4 cents, maybe 5 cents max an hour, and they mention technology, bust out laughing. And
well, anyway, in the meantime, the rest of the world is not waiting for us to catch up. And AI right now is being used as, or should I say, it's being weaponized and used to, well, let me just play the clip so you can.
Use the word weaponized. Social media is a weapon used against us for thinking. It's making us drones and clones. It's already been weaponized, but now you're talking about the further advancement of weaponization.
All right, let's go to this clip, and then we'll take a break.
And thus, it is not surprising that the company that has the most information in the world is probably the most powerful country in the world, Google, is very interested in artificial intelligence and has been traveling around the world as a shopping queen, buying all the companies that are dealing with robotics. This is one of their robots. This is called Atlas. And they're buying artificial intelligence, all the artificial intelligence companies from around the world. Now this is, if you ask Google, it's a peaceful robot, right? He doesn't have a gun. He doesn't throw atomic bombs. You know, he just walks around and stands there. But you may have seen the superimposers DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. That is the research arm of the Pentagon. And then you see the video was made by Lockheed Martin, which is one of the most powerful and influential and richest weapons companies in the world. So why is the Pentagon investing this money? Why has Lockheed Martin taken over large aspects of the company? This guy's called Big Dog. He also belongs to Google, also DARPA financed. Peaceful dog, right? Unless he gets caught on a maneuver of the United States Marines as part of a military unit. Predator drones you've seen, right? You've seen them on TV, you've seen them in the newspapers. They're old, but that's what a modern drone looks like. This is not a Predator, this is a Pegasus. It's an X-47B, it's owned by the Navy. It's a jet-powered machine, not like a propeller-driven Predator. It goes 2,000 miles into enemy territory. It carries 2,000 kilos worth of explosives, and it's run by artificial intelligence. Pegasus is invisible. Now, I'm not talking about stealth and being invisible to radar. I'm talking about invisible to the human eye. And you won't find this in any newspaper anywhere. It's invisible to the human eye because the bottom has an LED layer on it, And the top has cameras, which have been removed here in the picture, which film the sky. And they project on the bottom a live picture of the clouds up above the aircraft, and you can hardly see it. The kill decision, which is required by United States law to be made by human beings. Human beings must be in the loop before someone is killed by a drone, but it's in the machine. And it doesn't need people. It can decide by itself whether or not it kills somebody. And the experts say it's going to make less mistakes and less collateral damage than the human decisions. The kill decision in robots in the air, in robots on the ground, in robots in the water or underwater, where there are also drones, is made by, or can be made by machines. And in my book, I quote many official United States government documents which say, our goal is to have the kill decision made by them. The problem is, artificial intelligence, sometimes they make mistakes. This is Talon. He's an automatic cannon. They can a lot of ammunition in that thing, and you can also put rockets on it. And it's in Iraq since 2007. At a demonstration with U.S. generals and experts, the damn thing got out of control and started pointing at the audience. And there was a Marine there, thank goodness, running across the field who tackled it like a football player and threw it on his side, and probably prevented a couple hundred people from being killed. We have to be very careful because survival is an issue for artificial intelligence. It needs to exist to be able to do the things it wants to do according to its program. So it lays, like insect eggs, backups and computer programs all over the world, thousands and thousands of them, so that if we do destroy part of it, it's still alive. My job to you is the wake-up call to make you aware of the problem. Your job is to figure out how we're going to stop this before it kills us.
The person speaking in that clip, just so you know, is U.S. defense expert Jay Tuck, not some guy who has no knowledge of what he is speaking about. We're going to take a break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about C. Allen's favorite topic as it relates to AI, ChatGPT, and AI's influence on society. Stay with us. At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, Contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the Mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Welcome back. So throughout the show, you've heard C. Allen talking about how he and his kids, as young as 6 years old, and what, the second one is 3 years old?
3-year-old using it too.
Are using ChatGPT. I have to confess, first time I hear about ChatGPT is when C. Allen brought it up, and I was like, Chat what? Well, most of you probably were in that same position that I was in. And this little clip is going to educate you more about ChatGPT.
In the world of artificial intelligence, there's been one name that's been on everyone's lips lately.
ChatGPT. ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
OpenAI, the San Francisco-based startup that created ChatGPT, opened the tool up for public testing in November 2022. In under a week, the AI model amassed over 1 million users, according to OpenAI's CEO. By the end of January, ChatGPT was averaging about 13 million visitors per day. The tool has become so popular that it's not unusual for users to be met with a message saying that ChatGPT is at capacity and can't handle any more queries.
As a linguist, and as a person who cares a lot about grammatical issues, stylistic issues, punctuation, spelling, the first thing that's really impressive is how good it is at basic writing. It's better than most of the writing that I've gotten from students over the decades.
I would say it has been a explosion of interest around not just ChatGPT, but around generative AI more broadly. I've described this in a couple different scenarios as being akin to an iPhone moment.
Of course, as with any new technology, there are a number of legitimate concerns.
If people believe that there's a problem with fake news, tools like this can only make the problem worse.
The maker of ChatGPT, OpenAI, has some big backers, including Microsoft, LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, and Colsa Ventures. Elon Musk also helped to co-found the company back in 2015. ChatGPT, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, is just one of the company's projects, all of which support its goal of ensuring that artificial intelligence benefits all of humanity. At the core of ChatGPT and other chatbots like it is what experts refer to as a language model. For ChatGPT, that model is called GPT 3.5.
Language model is the underlying technology that powers the chatbot. I like to think about it as the language model being the engine and the chatbot being the car. And so the language model itself is it's a complex, what they call machine learning software. It's the thing that sifts through the data and finds patterns, and the chat interface is which, when people interact with, that's where they receive the answers from.
Chatbots have been around for a while, but most have been tailored towards very specific tasks, such as answering basic customer service questions about your phone bill. ChatGPT is much more sophisticated, thanks to the wide-sweeping data on which it was trained.
OpenAI doesn't reveal specific data that you use to train. What we do know that it's a ton. It surfs the web, spools all that internet data. They do Wikipedia entries, a lot of archived books.
ChatGPT is part of a growing field of AI known as generative AI.
Most of AI in the last couple of decades has really been around analyzing existing data. So, finding an anomaly in data, detecting fraud, making a movie recommendation. Generative AI is very different. It allows you to create brand new content. That content can be text, like a news article, or poetry, or marketing copy in a website. It can be video, it could even be audio, like creating brand new music.
The technology has venture capitalists excited. Funding for generative AI companies reached $1.37 billion in 2022 alone. Microsoft has been investing in OpenAI since 2019, when the company committed $1 billion to the startup. In January, Microsoft announced a third round of investment. But OpenAI is not the only company trying to crack the generative AI code. Big tech companies and startups alike are developing a slew of generative AI programs that can transform text to pictures or videos and offer coding suggestions, among other use cases. One VC firm estimates that there are over 450 startups now working on generative AI. Meanwhile, Microsoft, Meta, and Google have all developed their own language models to power their version of conversational chatbots. Though development has not always gone as planned. Back in 2016, Microsoft released Tay, which was promptly shut down for spewing foul language.
Microsoft has taken some of the products that OpenAI has built and added it to products it has. So for example, CarMax is a company that lets you look at reviews of cars. And what CarMax did is it took the OpenAI service on Azure and it summarized all of those reviews of the Kia Sorento. And that way you don't have to go through 500 reviews.
Microsoft is reportedly also considering adding ChatGPT to its Bing search engine in a bid to compete with Google. Another issue with the current iteration of AI technology is that it can be biased or toxic if the databases that it pulls from are also biased or toxic. But cleaning up this large dataset can come at a real human cost. A recent investigation by Time found that OpenAI initially outsourced workers in Kenya to sift through thousands of snippets of text describing horrific situations, including sexual abuse, violence, and hate speech. The workers' job was to label these examples as inappropriate, so that ChatGPT could learn to detect and filter out toxic content. According to the Time investigation, a number of these workers walked away from the job traumatized. CNBC reached out to OpenAI for comment regarding this incident, but the company did not respond. Despite these efforts, there's been instances where ChatGPT has provided instructions on things like bomb making, though experts say OpenAI is adding guardrails almost daily to prevent ChatGPT from answering such queries.
All right. Very interesting times indeed. See, Alan, I see you've turned your camera off.
I'm doing something right now.
Understood.
Okay.
So, bottom line is, whether we like it or not, it's here. It's already very, very advanced. Just because we may not be as a collective aware, doesn't mean that the rest of the world is going to sit back and wait for us to catch up. It is already influencing society that you are not aware of, but you are most likely being impacted. So, as a nation, what do we need to do to try to get as many of our people educated on this so that we are not totally left in the dark? Because whether we like it or not, this is the direction that the world is headed.
Well, what happens is that, 1 second, yeah. It says that you cannot manage what you cannot measure, and you cannot measure what you refuse to acknowledge.
Right.
So essentially what we have to do, we have to make Bahamians aware that technology is beyond the consumptionism or consumerism that we have become accustomed to. Facebook, Google, Amazon, Walmart, and these various different sites that we go to. That is a consumer aspect. There's a building part of it that's there that we don't teach. We run around telling people, oh, coding is garbage. I could get ChatGPT right now to code everything we've been teaching people, but these people running around, but you're gonna have coding class. You go to ChatGPT right now at OpenAI.
Now, yeah.
Ask it to write those codes for you. no code or low code. So this whole concept of our leaders being almost 2 decades behind, we don't need all of us, but however, we need leadership that is aware of the direction we need to go to be able to order the expertise or tools that is needed. And so, but the first thing that's needed for people to know is for them to become aware that we are in the position we are. And then and the reason for that is because of the leadership that we have continuously chosen. We are choosing to be stagnant. We are choosing to be retarded in our development because we have now become part of political gangs. Gang culture is not about growth. It's about security. It's about power and control, not elevation and empowerment. I do have hope that I know this government has already took in, and I tell people can argue on what they want. If you want to know my history politically, go and search what it is, and you will understand that I'm both PLP, FNM, and everything in between. Okay, so and if you think what I don't like is I don't like bad government. So when you say I oppose the FNM, I don't like bad governance. When I oppose the PLP, I don't like bad governance. And this government right now has moved into the stage I call the arrogance of ignorance, where they begin to believe that what they said, Wi-Fi in the park is the most elevation of anything. You know, you go anywhere, you know what they said? We're going to duplicate the coffee place in the park and think we have done some tremendous. You go to the coffee place for free Wi-Fi. You go to almost every restaurant for Wi-Fi. So you're now telling the people, go to the park and you look at the major accomplishment you have. And when you say, we spend over $1 billion on technology, and nothing in our country is digitized, and everything that we need economically. And so we are at the inflection point of whether we go back or we go forward in this 50th anniversary. And so, believe it or not, this is not a choice I made. And you know, with our predictions on your show, if we don't make a decision where we're going to go technologically by July 1st, we will begin a downhill descent. And that's where that post I made, that in 3 years from this July or close for December, that we're going to need leadership in government who can change the tires of a moving car, because we can't say we're going to be doing things. We have to run full speed ahead, and if we get a flat, we don't even have time to stop the car to change the flat. We have to find a way to change the flat while we're moving. And I don't go flat tires. Let me say one thing that 52 said. 52 said, or you did, somebody said 5G. 5G has no impact on this so-called thing we're experiencing. But let me tell you in the true sense of what 5G is. Listen to me carefully. They need 5G. Not that 5G is doing anything. There is no 5G in the Bahamas or most developed part of the world. So please stop saying 5G is doing anything. You have it mixed up. 5G is in the equation, but not to do what you all think is being done because it's not rolled out yet. 5G is needed for the speed to which you will control the data, the voluminous of data that is needed. If you're afraid of 5G, don't be afraid of 5G, because that's like saying you're afraid of the road. It's the car on the road. 5G is the highway that they need these supercars, these planes that fly, these drones that flying. So Michelle.
Wrap it up for me, C. Allen, because I have something else I want to do.
It says right here, right?
Yeah.
You know what's in here? An underwater drone that's not connected to anywhere. And I have air, I have all of those different things right now. So I'm saying to you, the problem is latency. And when I'm dealing underwater and other things with Wi-Fi and other connectivity, because I have to put pegs in the ground, underwater, so I can stay communicating with me along the way. 5G allows penetration of these barriers that I have, but it doesn't penetrate walls. So I'm simply saying this: 5G is not the problem yet. 5G is
we got the point. We got the point. We got the point. 52, make your final thoughts to me, please, because I have one more clip I want to play. Go ahead, 52.
Yeah, all right, Ms. Malcolm. I'm pulling with the text that God stops them in their tracks. I'm not afraid of making money off it, but then when I look at there's no collective multinational effort to enforce some type of ethics concerning AI, right? And the thing is about with Seattle, and I want to know, I work around programmers from around boilers and chillers, etc. And so with the dawn of autonomous robots, etc., I know that moisture and weather affects the efficacy of these, whether it's a robot or not. And they're not looking into that. And so my last words would be, AI is not the holy grail for mankind. God Almighty still lives. Give thanks. Yes.
All right, gentlemen. This has been a very interesting conversation. We still have 5 minutes left, but I have one more thing I want to play, and that is about the influence of AI on society. I need our audience to be able to reflect on these things because this is a very, very important, this information is very important for us to understand. So check
This is
this out.
Malcolm.
We're going to wrap
Hello,
things up.
Miss Malcolm.
Even though generative AI like ChatGPT still has a long way to go, predictions about how the technology will influence our society are already swirling. One prominent discussion centers around generative AI's propensity to replace some human workers. Among the industries that may be most affected by ChatGPT, experts say, are journalism, law, and translation. Programming may also change, with companies already training generative AI models to write basic code.
Relatively few of the stories in newspapers or on television news are done as investigative reporting. They're more reporting information, and that's something that generative AI is exceedingly good at. There now are an increasing number of tools for generating briefs, which lawyers write.
Tools like this, Barron says, even have the advantage of customizing briefs for a specific judge, by taking all of the data of their past opinions and seeing which briefs succeeded in winning the case. But not everyone shares this outlook.
This is not something that's going to take your job. It's a novelty. It's a gimmick. ChatGPT is fun and interesting, but it's ultimately an iterative step forward in how people can see the capabilities of artificial intelligence in the world of language.
Nevertheless, society has already had to adapt. Worries around students misusing ChatGPT have prompted a number of school districts around the country to ban the tool. Barron suggests that educators could go back to having students take oral exams, or have students turn in multiple handwritten drafts of a paper so that teachers can see the progress of a student's writing instead of just the end result. Meanwhile, image-generating programs like OpenAI's DALL-E 2 have raised complicated questions around creativity and ownership. Still, some experts believe there's no replacing the human brain.
Large language models are about language. So they don't understand the world outside of language the way that you and I and other humans do. What it may do is, take away some of the really annoying tasks that were part of our job that we didn't really want to do, like some of the data cleaning and data prep tasks. But I think this will ultimately create more opportunities for knowledge workers in the long run than the opportunities that it will preclude.
As for ChatGPT's thoughts, they're quite nuanced for a bot. Do you think that AI like yourself will completely change the world?
AI has the potential to greatly impact various industries and fields, but its impact will depend on how it is used and developed, and responsible usage is crucial to ensure that its impact is positive.
So just for the record, they say that it won't replace jobs. Some jobs have already been replaced. If y'all remember back in the day on Wall Street, you used to see these brokers with two different phones to their ears, and they shouting, trying to get attention to make deals. Well, if you look at the stock market today, you don't see them no more. Why? Because all of those deals are happening within seconds and are being handled by a computer. Another thing that they talked about in that clip about the fact that when it comes to journalism, AI is very, very good at regurgitation.
Lawyers.
I want to encourage journalists, if you want to protect your job, start doing some more investigative journalism.
Hey. Yeah.
We can hear you, 52.
Hello.
52, you are on the air. We can hear you, so please mute your microphone if you're not talking to us. And
but Ms. Malcolm, my last words be I was hoping you would have played the clip in the part in which Elon Musk mentioned that we'll be like pets to AI. I told you to mention that because yes. All right.
One that I think we as a people need to really wake up and try to understand, because whether or not we like it or not, this is going to impact and is already impacting our lives.
Okay, I hear the music. Just let me say,
thank you, Cialan. Thank you.
It will not replace jobs.
I don't have time to open Mike, Cialan. We gotta go. We gotta go. Thank you both for being here. I appreciate your input. Tomorrow is an open line show. It's 4:00. Got to get off the air. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for our TGIF Open Line show. Take care.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on